Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Seattle. We don't have a bell today, so while everybody's calming down, you don't have to stand up yet. I'll just make a few opening remarks. First of all, welcome to Bell Harbor International Conference Center. You might recall the first time we met here this Rotary year was during Seafair last August. And I wanted to mention, in case any of you hadn't made the connection, our featured speaker that day was Admiral Mike Mullen, the Chief of Naval Operations. And yes, that is the same Admiral Mike Mullen that the President has just nominated to be the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And with us on that day was Vice Admiral Barry Costello, the Commander of the United States Third Fleet. Admiral Costello has just retired from the Navy, and he's with us today again. So would you please welcome Admiral Barry Costello. We also have a couple of very distinguished Rotary leaders with us today. Our District Governor-elect, Don Gregory, who is just 2 weeks away from taking the reins of being the District Governor. And he's happy, even at this point, to see alive and well and in good health his successor, our District Governor nominee, Jesse Tam. Welcome, Jesse. Thanks for joining us today. Well, this is a pretty special day, the 98th birthday of the Rotary Club of Seattle. And to get us started, we're going to sing a cappella, so everybody on your feet so you're in good voice. I want to welcome our a cappella song leader for the day, Lou Lundquist, who will be followed with the invocation by our Invocation Committee Chair, Roberta Nessus. Lou.
Okay, I think we can do this a cappella. We got a nice low ceiling. It ought to reverberate really well. Let's sing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Hey, give yourselves a hand.
Please join me in the invocation. Loving God, we have a tendency to come to you with our cares and worries more frequently than on occasions of joy and thankfulness. But today we invite you to be with us and bless this time of celebration. Today we are thankful for generous hearts, visionary staff at Family Services, and the campaign leadership that resulted in money raised in record time for a remarkable cause. We anticipate the reward of hearing that the lives of families and children will be changed forever through the Rotary Support Center for Families. We are grateful, too, for the strength, compassion, and dedication that have been our legacy for 98 years. We are humbled to be part of this tradition of service and commit ourselves to continued excellence and many more celebrations of success. So we say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to serve and make a difference in our community. Thank you for one another. Amen.
Please be seated. Roberta, don't go away. As I mentioned, this year Roberta has been the chair of our invocation committee, and I want to thank you very much for your leadership. Could you tell us a little bit about, some people probably wonder how you get on the invocation committee. Tell us about that.
Well, the way you get on the invocation committee is you feel that calling inside you to sign up. And as a little incentive, along with that special calling, I might add that there are no meetings, but we sign up via email, and we average maybe one quarter invocation, depending on how many people sign up. So I would invite you to consider that.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, and someone said, amen. So, no, I just would like to say that we invite people of all religious traditions, and because we like the prayers to be very inclusive and reverent. But if you have a tendency towards being long-winded, maybe you shouldn't consider this committee.
Thank you, Roberta. Thanks again. And fair warning, the second committee I signed up for as a member of Rotary was the Invocation Committee, so now you see where it can lead. Is Chris Clark here today? I looked around, and I don't want to embarrass him, but if he's here, could you... What's that? He has jury duty. Okay, well, he gets a good excuse then. I'd like to ask Jean Bluchel to join me at the podium for a moment. Chris will be receiving a pin recognizing his 4th Paul Harris Fellowship, and it's my honor today to present Jean Bluchel with her 1st Paul Harris Fellowship. Would you all join me in congratulating Jean? Beautiful certificate. And you want to say anything?
I just wish I had had it for 4 or 5 or 10 years, and maybe I will for the next 5. Okay.
Thank you. Well, happy 98th birthday. As it says in the little booklet on the table, what a year, what a club. Last fall, together, we launched a major fundraising effort to honor our forthcoming centennial year. Today, we celebrate completion of that campaign. Congratulations and thanks to each and every one of you, donors, volunteers, staff. Everybody put a tremendous effort into this. You've all worked together in the magnificent Rotary tradition of service above self to help build the fabulous Rotary Support Center for Families. And at the same time, and importantly, you continue to support the vital ongoing work of the Seattle Rotary Service Foundation and the Rotary International Foundation in an impressive fashion. Many of our members, as you will see in the booklets on your table, along with their families and companies, have stretched to help make this possible. For that, I thank you. Your fellow Rotarians thank you, and this entire community is and always will be tremendously grateful for your vision and your generosity. You have truly helped Seattle 4 live up to our distinguished heritage. And now, I have no idea what's about to happen. I feel mildly uncomfortable. I'm not sure why. Please welcome our Master of Ceremonies for today's festivities, our puckish past president, Jack Link.
Thank you, President Bill. Would you believe just 2 more weeks before your grand finale? Sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, and hasty bananas. And the 1st of July is I'll never forget old what's-his-name. But we salute you, Sir President Bill, for a most interesting, innovative, and outstanding Rotary year. And as one of those who have been there and done that, you've done good. Yes, this week is our 98th anniversary for Seattle Rotary. On June 15th, 1909, 9 young men met at the Olympus Cafe in downtown Seattle to become the 4th Rotary Club in the world, following Paul Harris's home club, Chicago, in 1905, followed by San Francisco and Oakland in 1908 and 1909. Through these many years, Seattle 4 has had a distinguished heritage of community and international service. We are the club that brought the ideal of service to Rotary in 1911, supported the national effort in 2 world wars, helped build Children's Hospital in the 20s, donated a scout camp in the 30s, built the Rotary Boys Club in 1954, started RI's World Community Service in the 60s, breathed new life into the Medic One in the 70s, established a youth job center in 1978, raised $3 million for a home for KCTS 9 in 1984. And Seattle 4's played a major role in building the Rotary Education Center at the Zoo, the Rotary Discovery Lab at the Science Center, the Rotary Wilderness Center at Camp Arnold, the Rotary Education Center at the YMCA, and many expansions of the Rotary Boys and Girls Club, and engaged in hundreds of other hands-on community and international service projects. And that's why we now celebrate our heritage by building on our service.
I'm a little confused. What exactly is a Rotary?
Well, it's a global network of community volunteers. Rotary Club members are business and professional leaders who volunteer in their communities and promote world understanding and peace in Rotary's 31,000 clubs in more than 165 countries around the world.
But why?
Well, to encourage high ethical standards and carry out health humanitarian projects and to address such issues as health and hunger and poverty and education and the environment.
So, who exactly can join?
Well, let's see. Present and future leaders in business, the professions, services, education, and religion. And
So, are you still accepting new members?
oh, certainly. With nearly 700 members over Seattle Forest, it's the second largest club in the world.
Oh, well, now we get it. Well, you're such a dynamic and philanthropic organization. I mean, you must be recruiting all the time.
Oh, the more we have, the more we can be world service.
You know what you need? You need a really good recruiting campaign song. You know, something like,
Rotary.
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 If you're a doctor or you're a lawyer or an employer, then Rotary wants you.
If you're a broker or you're a banker or a news anchor, then Rotary wants you.
If you're a chef, if you're a shrink,
We think you'll like the way that we think. Dentist or doorman, founder or foreman.
Rich man or poor man, don't care who.
We're more than certain Rotary wants you. She's a designer.
he owns a diner.
She sells fine china and
Rotary wants you. This one's an actor.
He drives a tractor.
she runs a factory.
Rotary wants you.
We're PhDs.
We're CPAs.
We're CEOs with 3 MBAs.
From every nation
And each vocation, no
occupation
is taboo. Got dedication, Rotary wants you.
If you're invited, you'll be delighted.
We're so excited that Rotary wants you.
Come to a meeting, it's open
seating. Such a warm greeting when Rotary wants you.
programs to plan,
Plans to discuss.
foundation grants.
And Polio Plus.
Come meet the members, so many members. We all were once new members too.
98 years later.
Number 4 is greater.
Nearly 700.
Generally well funded
Eminent.
and prominent.
Benevolent.
Ian Seller, right?
Number one with a
Thank you. Cabaret Productions singer. Oh, God. Place your order, folks. Well, today's special program and entertainment from Cabaret Productions is made possible by a super group, our Centennial sponsors. And we're dedicated to them, and we're delighted to thank them in person today.
Sponsor number one, Slater Partner Architects, since 1935. Slater Partners have created award-winning designs nationwide. Sooner or later, you'll walk into a Slater.
Partners down at Slater build the loveliest buildings in the world.
Sponsor number two, Phil Smart, the Northwest's premier Mercedes dealer. Proud to be providing the highest level of customer service possible for those interested in a quality new or pre-owned vehicle.
Quality, value, and more.
Phil Smart. That's the way the Mercedes bends. I just read them. Sponsor number three, Home Street Bank. This family and employee-owned bank is one of the largest private banks in the Northwest. Since 1921, building strong relationships with our customers and providing ongoing support to their communities.
I like this bank and I cannot lie. On Home Street I do rely. When it comes to those we'll be thanking, it's the folks at Home Street Banking.
Thanks to the bank. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
Oh, yes. And the Slater partners are sitting down here. Kathy and Bill and Bruce Williams are here. Phil Smart, Senior and Junior, couldn't be here today, but thank you, Centennial sponsors, for your tremendous support. In 1984, for our 75th anniversary, Seattle Rotary selected as the key anniversary project to spearhead the campaign to build a new home for KCTS Public Television. So to celebrate our 100th centennial year, a great group of Seattle Rotarians set out to select a major centennial project. After a thorough selection process considering not less than 41 proposals, and after total club input, exactly 1 year ago, our centennial project would be to help build the Rotary Support Service Center for Families. Two goals were set. First, to raise $4 million, and to come as close as possible to achieving and having every member of Seattle 4 to participate as best they could. A campaign team of 92 members strong, was recruited. And to tell you more and to introduce the stalwart team leaders is the Centennial Fundraising Chair and past President, Lewis and Clark historian, Carl Iggy.
Thank you, George, and thank you, everyone. We are delighted today to be able to announce the results of the campaign, which we've had for the last year. But first, as George noted, 92 members of the club stepped up to be part of the fundraising team. They're listed in the back of your booklets that are there today. Will those that are here, who were part of that those of the 92 that are here today, please stand so we can thank you for your individual efforts. Thank you very much. Now we're going to announce sort of the results of that campaign, but first I want to introduce the leadership of your campaign for the past year. First, President of the Seattle Rotary Service Foundation, Danner Moneybags Graves. Heading up the leadership team, Carl the Enforcer Benke. the team that were in charge of major gifts: Mark the Magnificent Davis, Larry the Legend Granite, and the late Bob Curley, who's represented here by his wife, Jan the Generous Curley. Jan, come on up. We had our classifications team led by George the Venerable Corcoran. George, come on up. And Kim the class act Moore. And finally, the team that took on the regulars and were led by our two past presidents, Anne the Gracious Farrell and Bruce, the ultimate gentleman, Walker. Bruce Walker. W-A-L-K-E-R. Walker. It's right there. And last but not least, our Centennial Vice Chair, Nancy the Great Slater. Okay, now. Everybody ready? We're going to now announce the results of what it is that we have been doing. Now, first, got a little music coming. Where is the guy with the music? Okay, now, we've got placards up here. We're going to announce the results of this thing. Is this on? Yes, it is. Okay, so everybody hold up your placards and let's see what we have. What the? You got, what is this? Benke, you're upside down, or hand, not, no, I don't know. They gotta move around or something here. This is all screwed up here. You got. Oh, here we go. All right, okay, here we go. You're a little late for the music there. They only respond to music. You know, it's like dancing. Not hay. Well, it's not hay. That's for sure. But let's see some numbers. We got some numbers? Let's get a little music played. All right. Oh, here we go. There we go. Oh, that's still not right. That's still not right. Wait a minute. We should have rehearsed this. I knew. Try it again here, guys. Wait a minute. It's looking better. Looking better. You got to get that comment. George, you're right. Right here, George. I think you're. There we go. Wait a minute. Now, okay. It looks like we raised $163,947 over. Jan, your card's blank. Why?
I don't know. You're the member. I'm not.
Well, maybe we need a little help here. And I think we need to have our own centenarian, Harvey der Alte Oster, to bring in the last number here, and let's see what we were able to do. Harvey, you come on up here. Is Harv. Okay, Jan's got a number here. Okay, let's see. But fellow Rotarians, I'm really proud to announce that our group, this club, has raised $163,947 over our goal of $4 million. That's it. And I thank you to each and every one of you for participating in this extraordinary effort.
Well done.
Well, it almost worked. Nancy's here. Nancy's going to report a little bit on the numbers as well. Nancy?
An important goal when we started our campaign was to make sure that as many members as possible contributed toward our very special project. I am absolutely delighted to report that as of today, we have more than 95% of our members who have contributed. At our weekly meetings, we always had our Rotary wheel, which marked our progress as we collected our funds. Today, we are going to present a bigger and better wheel because we have reached our goal of and more. Our wheel now is at 104%.
Thank you, Nancy. This means that our club will fulfill its commitment that after campaign expenses, we will contribute to Family Services the sum of $4 million. We believe that this is the largest project ever undertaken by a single Rotary Club in the 101-year history of Rotary International. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for your commitment, for your support, and for your generosity in living the dream, helping us to live the dream for Family Services, providing them for their first home in their 114, or is it 15 now, 115-year existence. Thank you very much. Jack, back to you.
There's an answer to all that in song. Let's welcome back again the cabaret production singers. And where's all of that money?
Money helps the world go around, the world go around, the world go around. Money helps the world go around, it helps the world go round. Some moolah or some cash or bread, some cash or bread, some cash or bread can help the destitute get ahead. A job, a meal, a bed, and shelter overhead. Money, 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 money.
We are happy to report the extent of our fundraising mission and the sum of the funds we advanced. Though our time was running short, more or less to our goal, we were building which were stunned and shocked we advanced. Now with all of your support and access, we are in a position to be able to do something grand, helping people learn to sort out the mess for themselves and their children.
For their children,
families,
safety,
and hope.
while we lend a helping hand. And
money can help folks
get ahead,
help folks
get ahead,
help folks
get ahead.
Money can help folks
Get ahead, a job, a meal, a bed, and money, 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 money.
Give a little
Money, money,
give a little
money, money,
money, money,
money, money,
money, money,
money. It helps the world go round.
Money ain't the most important thing in the world, but I don't know what's second place. The money, of course, will help make possible the Rotary Support Center for Families, which is scheduled to open its doors in Rainier Valley just about the time of our 100th anniversary, 2 short years from now. In its first 10 years of service, this Rotary Support Center expects to end dreaded homelessness permanently for 5,000 King County families in the first 10 years, help 7,500 children grow and develop successfully, and support the health of 30,000 individuals. Now that is service. And here is what the city of Seattle has to say about this tremendous endeavor. It's a recognition from the mayor, proclamation, which reads with its whereases. Whereas the city of Seattle draws its strength from individuals and organizations dedicated to the well-being and success of our community, and the Rotary Club of Seattle is committed to helping end homelessness and providing support to transitioning families and individuals in Seattle. And in June 2006, the members of the Rotary Club of Seattle announced a fundraising goal of $4 million to help finance the $9 million capital campaign for the Family Services for the Rotary Support Center for Families. And the Rotary Support Center for Families will be located in Seattle's Central Corridor at 23rd Avenue South and Rainier Avenue South. It will serve as a vital resource for local families who are struggling and striving for independence and self-efficiency. And Seattle Rotary has already raised nearly $4.2 million to support this project, exceeding expectations and furthering the goal. And the final whereas, on June 13th, 2007, Rotary Number 4 of Seattle will celebrate its 98th year of existence and will commemorate this significant fundraising achievement. Now, therefore, I, Gregory J. Nichols, Mayor of Seattle, do hereby give recognition to the Rotary Club of Seattle Number 4 for its outstanding commitment to the community and its continued effort to help end homelessness in Seattle by supporting families in need. And here's what those families have to say to Seattle Rotary in special music.
Thanks from the families, a roof over our head, a warm and cozy bed, a friendly smile, a helping hand, and meals so we are fed. Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks to the Rotary, good old Seattle 4. You're generous to the core. You all gave once and then gave twice, then you gave some more. Oh, thank you, dear 4.
As our community's growing, and will generations to come, your sense of true unity's growing, and that will be your legacy.
So thanks from the families for what you did today. You didn't look away. Your four-way test is still the best. You change lives every day. So thank you so much. Thanks to the Rotary, from all the kids and mothers, our sisters and our brothers. You just reached out, there was no doubt. Your tops at helping others. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks from the family. And thanks to a whole team of special Seattle Rotarians who took the challenge of building on our century of service. You know, a key cog of the Seattle Rotary wheel is my next introduction, a gentleman who can tell you where to go in such a way that you actually look forward to the trip. A gentleman who asks for the order and then shows you the way to make it work. He was campaign chair for our 75th anniversary and is the chair of this Centennial Committee. And I might add, the creator and executive producer of today's celebration. Put your hands together and not only welcome and thank President Don Kraft, past President Don Kraft, but also welcome fellow Rotarian Ruth Ann Howell, President of Family Resources.
Come on up here, Ruth Ann. You know, folks, we're very fortunate to have this lady as our Centennial partner. She believes in what she's doing, and she is very passionate about it. As you heard, it was just exactly 1 year ago that we announced the winner of our selection process, which you all gave input to. And up until that time, most of us weren't very familiar with family services. Among the 41 very worthy projects that we considered, you'd have to say that Family Services was a dark horse, distinctly an underdog, until Ruth Ann came before the club and made her impassioned appeal. At that time, Ruth Ann, at that time we said to you that you were invited to the big dance and you won. You were Cinderella. And we gave her this slipper and said, if together we are successful in this campaign, you get the other slipper. So, Cinderella, it's shoe time.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. When your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do.
Fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing.
Like a bolt out of the blue,
Fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
I'm keeping the crown. Thank you very much. And when Cinderella's really in charge, there will be no high heels. But anyway, thank you. And I actually kind of want that little wand. That would be handy at work. Thank you very, very much. A year ago, when we were selected out of a number of really great projects, we just were overwhelmed, and you really did make our dreams come true by selecting us. The important thing about helping us have our dreams come true meant that we could help dreams come true for a lot of other people.
We feel incredibly lucky to be partnered with Rotary through this new adventure and journey that our organization is undertaking. And the ability to partner with Rotary and to have 700 more people in this community understand what we want to do and to help us be a voice for that is an incredible opportunity that only comes every 100 years.
They have been doing this day in and day out for coming up on 115 years. So it is an organization that has been earning its place and the trust of people in this community for over a century.
We've been doing a tremendous amount of work over all these years, but doing it quietly.
It's a very quiet organization. It has been going about serving people in need without a lot of fanfare and frankly a lot of community, broad-based community support.
I think there's nobody in the city that focuses in the same way that Family Services does on providing long-term solutions for families.
When you look at homelessness, domestic violence, and mental health issues, they're very frequently interrelated. And in our agency, when we put together our comprehensive services, we see that. And so really look at that integration of response to address all of those different issues that we see as interrelated.
A big part of the reason why I come to work every day and have for years and plan to for years here is because I do know that we make a difference in people's lives.
I think every day I go to work knowing, okay, I have another opportunity. Let's see if we can do it.
Over 600 children every night in this community under the age of 5 don't know where they're going to sleep. And that's the families who are homeless. That's a growing number, unfortunately.
We're planning new programs. We are planning to expand our services to that most fragile group of our population that we serve, the young children, the little people.
It is so hard to look in the little eyes of those children and to think where they spent the night, what problems, what challenges they face on a daily basis.
When I went up to Morning Song and saw the kids in the daycare up there and see them coming in thinking, oh, what all they must have been through in their young lives, it just is incredible. If they come off that van from where their interim housing has been and they quietly file up without anybody asking them up to the sink and wash their hands. I thought, wow, that's a kind of discipline that they probably aren't used to. I know my kids didn't always do that.
Getting to see the kids at Morning Song and how they're, doing well, that you can't help but come away from that feeling really proud.
We now have a vision of a home for family services whereby we can house all of our services under one roof.
The capital campaign that we're embarking on really allows us to bring together all of those comprehensive services that are needed therapeutically to really end homelessness permanently for 5,000 families and their kids in the next 10 years. That is an incredibly exciting opportunity.
Today, that's that drawing, that concept that we put before Rotary is becoming real. We've purchased property, we're hiring an architect, we're getting into the community of the Rainier Valley to show that we're a committed neighbor, a committed part of that community.
The end goal is to be in the facility June 2009, celebrating another 100 years of service to the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Choo-choo.
Thank you very much. Today I have 2.5 Rotary minutes to thank you and talk about the impact of Rotary, and I had about 42 things I was supposed to include. So I'm doing the CEO thing and talking from my heart and telling you what I want to say. The first thing I would tell you is when we were selected to be the Rotary Centennial Project, again, out of such great projects, we were overwhelmed, and we had this past year have had an amazing array of emotions. The first one is joy. We feel very humble, a lot of humility. We feel excited. We feel verklempt. I could get verklempt again today. Going through this process with you has allowed us to really get to know your hearts in a very different way. Having been a Rotarian for quite a while, it's a very different experience to watch you care deeply about changing the future for all these kids that you just saw and the kids that you walked through on the way in today. You made a decision. If you remember my presentation last year, I said this has to stop. 600 kids under the age of 5 not having a place to sleep every night, and you said, yes, it has to stop, and we want to be part of that. So it has just been amazing to see your hearts, feel your hearts, see the passion that you brought to this Centennial Project, and to experience being a part of it. I wanted to say a couple things about impact. As Don said, people didn't know that much about the organization, even though for 115 years we've been achieving really significant results in the community. So the first impact, I have 3 I want to tell you about briefly. The first one is obvious. You've affected our organization in ways that were beyond what we could have dreamed about. You raised our visibility. We're so excited. We go to events now and parties, and everyone says, yeah, I know who Family Services is. And a lot of times they know we're the Centennial Project for Rotary. So that has been a big piece for us to get above the radar, have people know more about what we do. You've also raised our bar in terms of how we perform, how we talk about what we want to accomplish. You've also leveraged a lot of significant gifts that came in earlier and larger because people had increased confidence in our ability to do what we said we're going to do because Rotary had selected us as a Centennial Project. The second impact is really one that there are two more I'm not sure you're really aware of. You have affected this entire community by being the largest business community to come to the table to say we can end homelessness in this community. The last couple of weeks I've been at a number of events and I've heard a significant number of people saying our speech. We can and must end homelessness. That wasn't happening a year or two ago. There were small pockets of people saying that. But Rotary saying we can and must end homelessness, particularly for kids and families, has really changed the landscape in this community. We only usually change social problems and complex issues when we really decide we will. I'm with Jack Link. There's nothing wrong with money. We really appreciate the support. But the first and foremost thing you have to have is a will to make the changes and a will to make a difference. So thank you to you for making that impact in the community. The third one is a ripple effect I'm not sure you really are aware of. Across the country, I have had numerous colleagues calling and asking about the partnership that we have with you and really looking at what can we do in our community with our Rotary Club or with other civic organizations. When a club like ours says we can, you make a big commitment and then you deliver. So that is sending a lot of ripple messages across the country where other nonprofits are thinking we could do the same kind of partnership. Our awareness campaign, which thank you to Bill Fritsch and Hydrogen, is really getting a lot of attention not only locally but across the country. People can replicate that. So your ripple effect is not only what you've done for us and what you're going to do for our kids and families, but what you've done to change the mindset in the community and the ripple effect across the country. So in closing, what I really want to say is a thank you from the bottom of my heart for our organization. Now I am going to get verklempt. It has been amazing to watch your leadership, the people who've done the asking, to listen to people talk about why they want to be a part of this, and to talk about looking in the kids' eyes and knowing that 10 years from now, they're going to be on a very different path because you chose to be a part of this project. So I want to say thank you from all of us to all of you. I appreciate you opening your hearts so that you can make a very big difference and change the outcome for thousands of kids in this community who will be able to accomplish their dreams and their hopes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gertie Franz, and I am a case manager and a housing supervisor for Family Services. I've worked there for the last 4 years and have assisted hundreds of families get out of very extremely dangerous situations. The families that I have worked with, there's so many things that they're thankful for. One is that they have a home. They have a home that they can go to. For the young children, they have their own room. They get to go to school on a regular basis. For some of the mothers and fathers who are ill, extremely ill, they get to take care of their health care needs and take care of their dental, which seems like a little thing, but really when you don't know where you're going to be living or where you're going to go to next, it is extremely challenging to take care of those little things. And then you get to take care of the bigger things, which is look for work, find employment, and a lot of families have been successful at doing that. And for the children, if they've had some problems at school, they've increased their reading level from, a couple of grades in 1 year. For some families, they get to be taken care of by teachers who actually know who they are, and they get to be seen, and the teachers say, I think you have a medical problem and your mom needs to take care of it. And so they take out adenoids and tonsils, and the child had sleep apnea and now is a bright and shiny little boy who does somersaults down the hall, and he has a sense of humor, but you really couldn't see it in the classroom because he was always sleeping because he didn't get to sleep at night. So it's those kinds of things that I think when I go to work every day that I really look forward to. And they get to move out on their own. They get a good rental history. And we do have a video today of a courageous young mother who has 4 children. And that's going to play now.
I was pregnant with Terry Jr. and I was having complications, so I wasn't able to go to work at the time, and so I ended up losing my job, and I wasn't able to actually get my rent paid fully on time. So my landlord came and said, okay, well, you guys are gonna have to, move out. We had to go ahead and file for your eviction. So they told us that, we had about 2 weeks before the sheriff was to come out. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't move into apartments. And that was the biggest part of a lot of it. When I ended up getting evicted, it was like I couldn't get into my own apartment because there was this big thing on my record that just said felon. But I pretty much bounced back and was like, okay, I can't be down forever. I gotta figure out something to, get done. I can't be down forever. They had an opening for me and my children at the shelter. And we stayed there for about approximately 6 weeks. And so my case manager there was giving me different places to go to and fill out applications for housing, and then she gave me an application which was for Croft Place, which was through Family Services. I just fell in love when I got here. And I was like, oh my God, and I was like, so you sure I'm okay? And she was like, you're fine, your application came back fine. I was so excited. I mean, my brothers or my dad came and they were like, okay, we're helping you get all your stuff in. And the boys came and they seen the place and they was just like, Mom, this is our house. And I was like, yeah. Here, the community, we actually get together. We have ladies' night, so where we have a book club and the men got together for Super Bowl Sunday.
The whole family has really become a part of the community. Vanessa is very involved in the different committees that they have here at Croft Place. While she was in our program, she wrote a letter to the congressman and told them about her situation and how having a felony has impacted her ability to find work. And basically she got it erased from her record while she was in our program.
I am a business and user care rep, meaning I work in the business department and I set up and representative, just I'm mostly on the phones. And then half the time I get off the phones because now I'm one of a senior rep now since I've been there for a year. So now I do what they call roaming, and I go around and I help all the new trainees that just came out of training class. My next step is to get into my own place. Like I said, I've received my housing and through King County, and so I'm in the process of looking for a place. Hazel brings me different listings that she finds. Like the other day she brought me like this really big packet, like it was 200 houses, and I was like, Hazel, I am not gonna be able to go through this all in 1 week. I feel like I've accomplished a lot since I've been with Croft Place because of Family Services that I've made it. Because again, I don't know where personally being on my own, it might have took me a while or whatever, but I think Family Services kind of helped to push the whole process and put me and my kids back on track.
Vanessa's been a shining star, and so have other graduates. Vanessa now has a place to go to, so the business of packing up a 4-bedroom apartment is going to begin, and then moving it all to South Seattle. I'm sure that it's the next stage that she's been somewhat reluctant to do, because families sometimes get used to case management. And they like having us around as much as they don't like having us around. But it's kind of bittersweet, and she's going to move out in the next month or so, and we're very, very happy for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Gertie and Ruth Ann. We're so proud of all of you. Well, from Bell Harbor, we've pretty much covered the waterfront today. A proud moment indeed. Fellow Rotarians, what all this means is that all things will be much better, much brighter, much happier, and more productive for thousands of Seattle area kids tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Well, what a finale. Let's give our thanks again to the performers from Cabaret Productions and these special young ladies from Broadway Bound. Now to conclude the celebration, here again is President, what's his name?
Oh, wow. Don, you outdid yourself. Where you get these 5 little girls, I don't know, but that's, you found my weakness. I want to thank Don. I want to thank John Hamer for their work in putting this program together, Cabaret Productions, Broadway Bound, everybody on the committee, fabulous job. And I really want to thank you. And Ruth Ann, God bless you. You're just such a wonderful, wonderful leader. We're honored to have you as a member of this club. It is getting near the end. Next week, June 20th at the Westin, our outgoing Washington State Transportation Secretary, Doug McDonald, is going to talk to us about the future of transportation here in our state. And did I say it wrong? Oh, assuming he can get here from Olympia. That's right. Yeah. John Iverson. Stand up, John. John's going to be in Salt Lake City for the international convention, and so he isn't going to be able to get back in time. We're going to do the baton passing in absentia. I'll give the baton to John's able vice presidents, and we're going to do that at the end of the program next week, because the following week, thank you, John. Have a great time in Salt Lake City. Travel safe. The following week is Rotary Family Day at Seattle Center at the Memorial Stadium there, which is just going to be a phenomenal program. If you are going to bring guests, and I encourage you to do so, please sign up with the office so that they can have a boxed lunch. It is just going to be a rockin' good time. I went through the 50 pretty good rules. I had 50 pretty good rules for this year, and I think I skipped one because I was up to number 50 today. And I went back and tried to figure out which one it was, and I hope this is the one because it's just great. The only way to accept a compliment, and let me just say I got this from my dad. The only way to accept a compliment is to say thank you and then do your best to live up to it. We are adjourned. See you next week.
Seattle Rotary Online is made possible in part by a grant from Enterprise Seattle. For over 35 years, Enterprise Seattle has provided client-based economic development services to businesses throughout King County and its 39 cities. More information on Enterprise Seattle and how they help businesses grow and prosper can be found at www.enterpriseseattle.org. And by First Choice Health, working with the Washington Health Information Collaborative to use technology to bring better health care to patients throughout the Pacific Northwest. First Choice Health.